a mighty Viking warrior feared across continents, a king who carved his name into the annals of history with blood and steel. This is Harald Sigurdsson, known as Harald Hardrada, the last great Viking king of Norway. Born into a world of ceaseless conflict, Harald's journey would span continents, from the icy fjords of Norway to the opulent courts of Byzantium. His sword carved a path through the chaos of the medieval world, leaving an indelible mark on history. This is the saga of a warrior whose unquenchable thirst for power and glory led him to the very edge of the known world. A tale of betrayal, conquest, and the inexorable march of fate. Prepare to embark on a journey into the heart of the Viking Age, where legends were forged in the crucible of battle, and where one man's destiny would alter the course of history forever. But there's more to his story than legend and sagas. What if the Harald you know from Netflix's Vikings Valhalla isn't the real Harald at all? Stick with us, because by the end of this video, we'll dive deep to separate fact from fiction, revealing the inaccuracies in the Vikings Valhalla series and show you the Harald that history remembers. Harald Sigurdsson, later renowned as Harald Hardrada, was born in 1015 in Ringerike, Norway. He was the son of Åsta Gudbrandsdatter and her second husband, Sigurd Syr, a prominent chieftain in the region. Through his mother, Harald was the half-brother of Olav II Haraldsson, who would later be canonized as Saint Olav. This familial connection placed Harald within the intricate web of Norwegian nobility and the ongoing power struggles of the era. In 1030, at the age of 15, Harald joined his half-brother Olaf II in an attempt to reclaim the Norwegian throne from Danish control. This effort culminated in the Battle of Stiklestad, a significant conflict in Norwegian history. The battle resulted in Olaf's death and a decisive defeat for their forces. Harald sustained injuries during the conflict, but managed to escape, marking the beginning of his period in exile. According to 12th century Icelandic historian Snorri Sturluson, Harald was a tall man and strong and of noble appearance. He was fair-haired and had a fair complexion, and his hair and beard were very beautiful. This description highlights Harald's imposing physical presence, which would have been advantageous in his military endeavours. Following the Battle of Stiklestad, Harald sought refuge in Kievan Rus, where he served under Grand Prince Yaroslav the Wise. This period allowed Harald to gain valuable military experience and establish important alliances that would later aid his quest for power. After his tenure in Kievan Rus, Harald Sigurdsson ventured to Constantinople around 1034, seeking new opportunities within the Byzantine Empire. There, he enlisted in the Varangian Guard, an elite unit primarily composed of Norsemen, serving as the personal bodyguards to the Byzantine emperors. His military acumen and leadership skills facilitated a swift rise through the ranks, eventually leading him to command the Guard. During his service, Harald participated in numerous military campaigns across the Mediterranean. He was involved in operations against Arab forces in Anatolia and Sicily, as well as engagements in the Holy Land. His experiences in these diverse theatres of war not only enhanced his tactical expertise, but also enriched his understanding of various cultures and military strategies. Historian Kelly de Vries notes, Harald's time in the Varangian Guard was instrumental in shaping his capabilities as a military leader, providing him with a wealth of experience that he would later apply during his reign in Norway. Harald's tenure in the Byzantine Empire was not without controversy. He was imprisoned for a period, allegedly due to accusations of misappropriating imperial plunder. However, following the dethronement of Emperor Michael V, Harald was released and even played a role in blinding the deposed emperor, as suggested by some saga sources. This episode underscores the complex and often perilous nature of Byzantine court politics during his service. By 1042, Harald had amassed considerable wealth and experience. He decided to leave Byzantine service, though not without difficulty, as the empire was reluctant to release such a valuable military asset. Eventually, he managed to depart, returning to Kievan Rus before making his way back to Norway. His time in Constantinople had a profound impact on his subsequent endeavours, providing him with the resources and insights necessary to pursue his ambitions in Scandinavia. In 1045, after years of military service and amassing wealth in Kievan Rus and the Byzantine Empire, Harald Sigurdsson returned to Norway with ambitions to claim the throne. At that time, Norway was under the rule of his nephew, King Magnus I, also known as Magnus the Good. Recognizing Harald's substantial resources and military experience, Magnus proposed a power-sharing arrangement to prevent potential conflict. This agreement led to a co-regency, with both Harald and Magnus jointly ruling Norway. The co-rule was relatively short-lived. In 1047, King Magnus I died under circumstances that remain a subject of historical debate. Some sources suggest natural causes, while others imply possible foul play, though concrete evidence is lacking. Following Magnus's death, Harald became the sole ruler of Norway. His reign was marked by efforts to consolidate power and assert royal authority over the Norwegian nobility. He implemented administrative reforms, including the establishment of a royal monopoly on coin minting, which strengthened the centralization of the Norwegian state. Historian Klaus Krag notes, Harald's return to Norway and subsequent ascension to the throne were pivotal in the nation's history, as his reign represented a significant shift towards a more centralized and autocratic monarchy. Harald's domestic policies aimed at reinforcing his authority often led to tensions with local chieftains and the aristocracy. His assertive approach earned him the epithet Hardrada, meaning hard ruler, reflecting both his determination and the challenges he faced in unifying the kingdom under a strong central leadership. Despite internal challenges, Harald's reign laid the groundwork for the future development of the Norwegian state. Upon becoming the sole ruler of Norway in 1047, Harald Hardrada embarked on a reign characterized by assertive consolidation of power and administrative reforms. He sought to strengthen the monarchy's authority over the Norwegian nobility, often employing stringent measures to subdue dissent. His epithet, Hardrada, meaning hard ruler, reflects his uncompromising approach to governance. Harald implemented significant administrative changes, notably establishing a royal monopoly on coin minting. This initiative not only standardized the currency but also enhanced the centralization of economic control under the monarchy. Historian Sverre Bager observes, Harald's introduction of a royal coinage system was a pivotal step in the development of a more centralized and organized Norwegian state. In addition to domestic reforms, Harald pursued expansionist policies, particularly targeting Denmark. He engaged in protracted conflicts with King Svein II, including the notable Battle of Niso in 1062. Although this battle resulted in a tactical victory for Harald's forces, it failed to secure a decisive conquest of Danish territory. Harald's reign also witnessed efforts to strengthen the Christian Church's influence in Norway, continuing the work initiated by his half-brother, Saint Olav. He supported the establishment of ecclesiastical structures and promoted the integration of Christian practices into Norwegian society. Despite facing internal opposition from regional chieftains and external challenges, Harald Hardrada's reign was instrumental in shaping the Norwegian monarchy's evolution towards a more centralized and authoritative institution. His policies laid foundational elements for the future development of the Norwegian state. In 1066, Harald Hardrada, King of Norway, embarked on an ambitious campaign to claim the English throne, asserting a right based on prior agreements between earlier monarchs. He allied with Tostig Godwinson, the exiled brother of England's King Harold Godwinson, to strengthen his position. Their combined forces achieved a significant victory at the Battle of Fulford on September 20th, 1066, defeating the English Earls Edwin and Morcar near York. However, this success was short-lived. On September 25th, 1066, King Harold Godwinson's army executed a surprise attack at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. The encounter was intense, and Harald Hardrada was killed during the battle, marking a pivotal moment in Viking history. Historian Frank Stenton notes, the death of Harald Hardrada at Stamford Bridge effectively ended the era of Viking invasions in England, as it removed one of the last significant Scandinavian threats to the English throne. Harold's death had profound implications. It not only concluded his ambitious campaign, but also weakened King Harold Godwinson's forces, contributing to the latter's defeat at the Battle of Hastings against William the Conqueror shortly thereafter. Thus, Harold's demise indirectly influenced the course of English history, leading to the Norman conquest and significant cultural and political transformations in England. Harald Hardrada's life, as recounted in historical texts, contrasts sharply with his portrayal in Netflix's Vikings, Valhalla. Contemporary sources such as the Heimskringla, Morkinskinna, Fagerskinna, and the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle document Harold's real journey as a ruler and warrior, yet they reveal a different figure than the dramatized character in the series. The series introduces significant inaccuracies in Harold's character and life, blending historical elements with fictional relationships and events to create a more accessible storyline. One prominent example is Harold's supposed interactions with Leif Erikson, a Viking explorer. Historical timelines indicate that their lives did not overlap in any meaningful way, as Harold was born approximately 15 years after Leif's last recorded activities in Greenland. Furthermore, Vikings Valhalla compresses events from Harold's life, notably blending his early ambitions with his later, well-documented conflicts. In reality, Harold's rise began in exile after the Battle of Stiklestad, a period when he joined the elite Varangian Guard in Byzantium, accumulating wealth and military experience. These formative years, vital to understanding his transformation into a powerful leader, are largely skipped in favor of immediate action. The series also dramatizes the religious tensions of the Viking world, positioning Harold as a kind of mediator between pagan and Christian factions. While religious conflict was part of the Viking Age, Harold's own motivations were more pragmatic, focusing on power consolidation rather than ideological battles over faith. Historians suggest that he supported Christianization efforts mainly to strengthen his rule and unify his kingdom, continuing the work started by his half-brother, St. Olav. Another major deviation is in the representation of Harold's military campaigns. In reality, Harold's reign was marked by extended conflicts with Denmark, where he sought to assert control over King Svein II. These campaigns included pivotal battles, such as the Battle of Nissø in 1062, where Harold achieved a tactical victory, although it did not lead to lasting control of Denmark. In contrast, the series simplifies this by portraying him as a unified Viking hero battling for generalized Viking honor rather than his historical and complex ambitions for territorial power. According to historian Kelly de Vries, Harold's exploits, especially his Varangian years and later campaigns in Norway and England, portray a complex leader driven by strategic ambition rather than the unified warrior ethos often seen in modern adaptations. The dramatization of Harold's life in Vikings Valhalla appeals to contemporary audiences, but the historical figure was far more nuanced, an ambitious leader shaped by decades of exile, warfare, and political maneuvering. Harald Hardrada's true story is one of power and resilience, a life woven with calculated risks and relentless ambition. While adaptations like Vikings Valhalla create compelling narratives, Harald's authentic legacy endures through history as a figure who, in many ways, embodies the final breath of the Viking Age.